What's up, guys? Hizams here, and I got a Diablo 4 Season 3 kind of review, my first impressions and thoughts on Season 3. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be kind of a season of disappointment, and it's already been a season of disappointment for many, unfortunately, myself included, which is honestly disappointing considering when I did my Season 1 review, I gave Diablo 4 and the dev team the benefit of the doubt for having a lackluster Season 1 because the game had just released. And then Season 2 came out, and I was like, okay, this is going in the right direction. I actually enjoyed the vampiric powers and the events that went along with it because I felt like as my vampiric powers increased, the power of my character also increased, and it increased my clear speeds and made my life a lot easier in the world of Diablo in Sanctuary. Now, with that said, I did not think Season 2 was perfect, but it was leaps and bounds in the right direction from Season 1. And now we get the abysmal Season 3. I was already not looking forward to playing in the first place because I'm not a huge fan of companions. I'm not a huge fan of games just adding companions to a season or adding companions to a patch or expansion. It's a cop-out to me. I don't want a companion, dude. The only time I ever want a companion is if I'm a necromancer who has summons, a druid who has summons, maybe a mage if you have like a high Hydra summon. But I don't like this. I don't care about this. This is boring to me. And maybe I'm in the minority. I would have rather had, instead of this companion, I would have rather had a new zone, new in-game bosses, new events to, I don't know, bring the community get together. I think I mentioned a few different mini games in my first season, review of the first season, that could potentially be ideas of things to do. You could do capture the flag PvP pretty easily. You could do a mode where it's teams of 3, and each team tries to clear as many monsters as they can in a certain time period, and you get rewarded if you win. You could do a mode where there's just endless waves of monsters, and it gets harder and harder and harder, and the more waves you clear, the better your reward is. Give people more ways to get loot, give people more ways to get gold, give people more ways to level up glyphs. This is an action RPG. There's supposed to be action. There's supposed to be items. You're supposed to be leveling up. And you're just supposed to be running around, destroying enemies, having a good time. You know, I don't know. Give me something other than a companion and vaults. I need something else. It can't just be companion and vaults. I'm sorry. And I mean, oops, didn't mean to do that. And I mean, where's my companion at? I mean, I've already had like some of these leveled up, but it's not like I'm really paying attention to them, honestly. I just kind of run the vaults, and, you know, when I get the materials to make a cache to get some more of these items, I do that and they level up. You know, I mean, I throw in the ones that I think are going to be good for me and good for me running around or whatever. And do I think something like the way you set your companion up is going to make or break your build? No. I literally don't even care about my companion. I could throw just complete trash into these slots, and I wouldn't care. Would my build be optimal? No. Would I still be able to clear high-level content? Yes. So yeah, companion, get this out of here. Don't like it. I think they should have spent their time thinking of different things to add to the season. Different ways to level, or I don't know. Where's one of my notes here? Where are the set items? They could have spent this time trying to work on sets and balancing set items for each of the classes and introduce more sets each season. Or I don't know, maybe have a seasonal set item, or have, instead of a whole set of items, have a seasonal item, one item for the season that's like has a cool, unique ability that they can do. Or if you get this staff, you can equip it and open a portal to like some maze or something with a bunch of enemies in it, and just like different bosses in this maze that you got to kill to get to the one giant boss. That I don't understand. I mean, me that's not even in the development world of Diablo, I've just rattled off 5 to 6 different ideas of things they can do. And maybe I'm taking it for granted and being I guess greedy in what I'm expecting from these companies. But if they can figure out a way to introduce a whole companion like this, they can do some of the things that I've suggested. So, with that being said, I'm not a huge fan of the companion, obviously. I'm not a huge fan of vaults. I think vaults were a terrible idea. I didn't play Path of Exile during the time of the whole trap debacle with when Path of Exile introduced trap dungeons or whatever they did with traps, and the community hated it. But it looks like Diablo IV has doubled down on the whole traps and dungeons. Traps and dungeons are a terrible idea in an action RPG. They can belong in an RPG. They can belong in a JRPG. They can belong in an action game. And honestly, the traps would be fine if you didn't get penalized so much for getting hit by a trap. And half the time, I will get hit by a trap and I won't even notice. There's so much stuff going on in the screen and so many particle effects, I don't even know half the time when I get hit by a trap. I mean, yeah, some of them are obvious, right? You know, and if there's no enemies, I can kind of like dodge and maneuver around which way I need to get to the different safe areas, to get through the catacombs of traps. Like, ooh, and then you get penalized. You start off with 10 stacks of the I don't even know what the hell it's called. The Warden, I think, or Warden, something like that. Warren, I don't know. You have 10 stacks of the treasure buff, and you get hit by a trap, and you lose a stack. So I had 10, end up with 1. At least I get to open the chest. My buddy ended up with 0. Didn't get to open the chest. It's just a terrible idea. It just slows the game down because you don't want to get hit. So what my buddy and I have done, and I'm sure a lot of other players have done, is we just say, screw it. Let's don't worry about the traps. Let's just rush to the end of the dungeon and get what we need to get. Excuse me. And get the loot and get the hell out of here. Like, yeah, we get less loot, but I figure my companion will level up just naturally through me playing, regardless, right? So vaults, a terrible idea in my opinion. Companion I already covered. Sorry, I got some notes over here. I had a lot on my mind on my drive back from the gym thinking about Diablo 4 and Season 3 and what I was going to say in my video. And I do a lot of this off the cuff. Most of the time I don't have notes, unless it's a review. I'm doing a review on a game, and then I do have a few notes usually for what rating I gave it. And so, yeah, I just kind of rushed home and kind of reading off my notes here. So another thing, guys, where's the new in-game boss, man? Introduce a new world boss, introduce a new in-game boss like Duriel. There's so many demons, so many monsters in the Diablo universe that you could bring into the game and use for more in-game bosses that we can run around and fight. And I am glad that they made it easier for people to get to some of the in-game bosses, but stop gatekeeping the bosses. What is the point? What is the point of gatekeeping them with needing materials? If anything, just require one material and don't make that material so obscure to get. And I do think that they did fix some of this in season 3 with some of the changes that they did, and they made it quicker and easier to get to some of these in-game bosses. But I do not like gatekeeping in-game bosses. Let people try the in-game bosses without spending 30 to 45 minutes running around picking up the materials. Sorry, this is kind of turning into a rant video, and I'm not really meaning it to be. But I'm just so passionate about Diablo 4 because I love the Diablo series. I love Diablo 2, Diablo 1, Diablo 3. I have tons of hours in all of those games. All of those games. And Diablo 4 I like. I like Diablo 4 as a whole, as a game. The campaign, the story was great. But it can't just go up here, you know. And then everything else after the campaign, after the peak, like, damn, that was a good story, good campaign, just straight to the bottom. It can't be that way. It's the same old grind, guys. The same old grind, the same old grinding glyphs, grinding paragons. Give me more ways to level. Give me more ways to grind my paragons. Give me more ways to grind my glyphs. Give me more ways to level, get items, get gold, get glyphs, play the game, enjoy the game. Give me more, give me more, give me more. And like I said, maybe that's me being selfish. I kind of touched on this a little bit. There was minimal items introduced. I think each class got an item added to the game. I'd like to see sets or a seasonal set, like I said earlier, or a unique item for this season, something. I already kind of talked about where the games and events to bring the community together. We need endless things you can do, and I know there are already endless things you can do, but they're boring. There needs to be more. The people are going to get tired of farming hell tides. They're going to get tired of farming dungeons. They're going to get tired of farming glyphs. They're going to get tired of farming levels. Getting tired of farming items. They need more ways and avenues to accomplish the same in-game goals. And I think if you do that, you bring back a lot of players, honestly. And I know some of the more hardcore community doesn't want to see the grind to go away, but at the end of the day, I want to have fun, feel like I accomplished something in the game, and move on to the next game and experience that game. I think in this day and age, there's so much content out there, video game wise, that people want to experience, that you can't build these endless grind games anymore and expect them to be successful or to retain the player base as it was when the game first came out. But anyways, guys, we're getting a little lengthy here. We're 14 minutes in. Thank you for stopping by. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Season 3, if you're having fun with it, if you liked Season 2 over Season 3, or what season was your favorite, what class are you playing, do you like the companions? Maybe I'm the odd man out. Like, subscribe, have a good day or night wherever you're at in the world. Much love, and we will see you on the next one.